finally stopped being so freaking cold outside. Alright, seeing that my two personality traits are drawing and hiking, and from my video a couple of months ago, you would know that I would carry Sketchbook wherever I go. Kinda like a bacteria that can't be sneezed out of my immune system. Which means I especially have a sketchbook while traveling. So in this video, I would love to inconvenience you while I yap about my EDC notebook. And no, not EDC as in the music festival, but as an everyday carry. Now, if you guys caught me in the wild of the middle of a music festival, that would mean I'm likely suffering an anxiety attack silently. Hi, hello. I am happily addicted to drawing and painting after my 9-to-5 job. I specialize in creating webtoons and illustrations, but because I have ADHD brain rot, I always love experimenting, working digitally on the computer, or drawing traditionally with pen and paper. I did post a video in the past briefly going over my unfortunate enjoyment of touching grass, drawing outside and carrying around a sketchbook kit, but as a TLDR, in case you don't want to watch the video, I partake in sketching outside regularly and sketch on my hike while sitting at a cafe, or even people watching while frolicking downtown. I don't regularly post the finished products online because sometimes it's a mess, but I think because I don't put the pressure of having to show these on social media, that I am able to enjoy drawing in the moment. I like to keep my sketchbook kit really small since I can't plan around having a table in front of me, so sometimes I will draw on my lap, leaning against a stair railing, or crouching over like a shrimp. My kit usually consists of just a small travel-sized notebook and a drawing utensil of choice, which is usually just a pen. In a perfect world, I try not to scroll on my phone during downtime and will just draw in the waiting room while running my errand or try to fill out a page mindlessly, especially while waiting at the airport or the doctor's office because for some reason, just a moment is like 30 minutes. I'm exposing my age here, but living in the digital age, it's like a double-edged sword to me. While everything is within my fingertips, aka my phone, my brain feels like it's been through the wash after half an hour of mindless scrolling. So I try to find other ways to entertain my aging brain, like filling out Sudoku puzzles and sketching. Now, most of the time, I don't step a foot outside of my house with a mental to-do list of what I should draw, so when I do whip out the sketchbook in public for a quick 20 minutes or so, it's primarily just to draw what's in front of me. For example, if I'm at a hair salon, I'm just gonna draw that really cool hair salon counter. Here's a little montage of some of the doodles I've done in the past to show how I put this all to practice. The goal for filling out these everyday carry sketchbook isn't to be the world's greatest draft person or doodler, but the goal is to just get off from the damn phone and just have a little fun practice when possible. Because I mentioned I'm aging, I also use these as a memory keepsake rather than a portfolio piece. I like people watching like a weirdo and doodle some observation sketches of people going about their days. However, I have a preference to sitting at a cafe and just drawing what's in front of me, like the cash register and the baristas running around. I consider this as enjoying the mundane. I quite enjoy filling out sketchbooks and love the idea of capturing sights I've seen on my travels. Since I usually travel with friends and my partner, I sometimes take a lot of photos and then sketch it back at the hotel room, just so I don't have to have them stalling for 30 minutes for me to fill out a page. Imagine how exhausting it would be to travel with me as my friend. I carry a variety of sketchbook systems that are light enough to shove in my daily bag, so here we have my Midori's Traveler's Notebook with a humble amount of inserts. I bought this a number of years ago when they weren't so pricey. You can even tell from the letter cover that it's been well loved and that each scratch gives it a little character. I have a number of filled out inserts, maybe I'll flip through them in a future video. And then we have my other traveler's notebook from a company called Dear Wildflower, which is no longer around, but it's still one of my more frequently used sketchbooks. I also got a massive amount of inserts during their closing sale, and I really just need to use them up because they are collecting dust in my drawer, and I feel bad hoarding so many. Unfortunately, the size of the inserts are not the exact same dimensions as the Midori's Traveler's Notebooks, and I know some people are picky about insert sizing to be consistent, but it gets the job done. The letter cover is made out of vegan leather, so it can feel flimsy at times, but it does make me feel less conscious about how I throw it into my bag. Both of these notebook systems has a lot of travel and airport mileage, which means they also have quite a lot of sketches. So, I'm actually going on a cute little Tennessee trip for a couple of days, so of course I'll be bringing a sketchbook with me and hope to get some doodles done. There's a connecting airport flight on the way there too, so it will be a perfect way to kill time while not spending time on my phone. Now these two sketchbook systems are great and it's all I need, and I definitely do not need any more right now. Okay, I cave. I'll admit, the covers are just so gorgeous, and as a hiker, there was no way I was gonna resist not purchasing these. I've always seen field notes in my local stationery store, but never really got around to buying them because I thought they were just like any other memo pads. But when these covers came out, I will confess, I actually had these in my shopping cart for a couple of weeks. One day, I just felt so possessed that I just booped the buy now button. Anyways, here is a little show and tell, and just wow. Side note, I bought these during the Valentine's sale, so they also include an extra cover, so this here is the Valentine's limited edition. Pretty cute! So the entire National Park collection has 18 different colors. They are sold in sets of 3, so there are 6 different sets to choose from. Each cover features a national park drawn by the 50 Notes Park Print series, which is a collection of different artists working under them. You'll see on the official website that each artist is credited. I will put a link to check out their work. It will be in the description below. I honestly cannot stop looking at these covers and just can't wait to use them. I mean, you can see here I bought every single pack. There was no way I'm gonna choose which set I was going to buy and not buy. Maybe the field note system will be the next thing I bring along with me on all my travels. Good thing I have 19 total notebooks to go through before the next shiny collection managed to grab me and my wallet in broad daylight. Maybe I'm coping at this point, but the other great perk about purchasing this specific set is that according to the Field Notes website, part from the fund from each sales contributes to the National Park Foundation. So as someone who enjoys and respects the outdoors, this is definitely benefiting a cause I care so deeply about. For comparison, the Traveler's Notebook system usually comes in 5.8 by 8.3 inches when closed. And the Field Notes is a lot more smaller and comes in 3.5 by 5.5 inches with the intention to fit in someone's back pocket. But I'm a lady, so we don't have back pockets. What the heck is up with that? So this means I need to consider a smaller drawing area and try to work smaller. I usually draw in those thick brush pens that make my line work a lot thicker and cleaner than it really is. But since the drawing area is smaller, I did opt to switch to a ballpoint pen. Not a pen I usually use for sketching, so we'll see how my line work is, but who knows, it might be my next favorite pen. For this experiment, I will be drawing with this Pilot High-Tech 05 pen in the dark blue color. Honestly, I think any gel pen works, so most pens should work with the Field Notes paper. Personally, I make sure it's a gel pen that isn't too thick, or else it would be prone to a lot of smudging. And the finer tip gives me more control of the pen while working with a smaller surface. So before I take the sketchbook on a whirl with me, on its first maiden voyage outside, I wanted to do a cute little test drawing with the gel pen. It's good practice to do some test sketches with a new pen you intend to bring with you, especially when you're traveling with limited supplies. It would really suck when the pen you end up choosing explodes all over your sketchbook. Not bad, not bad. The paper has taken the ink very well, as you can see here. It's thick enough that there's no ink bleeds inside too. This first page here was done with my usual brush pen tip, and I highlighted everything. This Field Note seemed to have taken out well too. But since the drawing area is a lot smaller than my other setup, it would be more difficult to draw more detailed pieces with a brush pen. Seems solid so far. Now I'm prone to having anxiety when working on a sketchbook with such a beautiful cover, so I started with the Valentine's cover. But I realized partway through the drawing that if I end up with a sketch that's so bad I never really need to show it. I could just put a large sticky note on top of it just to cover it up if I really wanted to. So now it's time to take this bad boy on a trip. So here are the completed sketches. I will just put them in the background while I say my final thoughts. I guess you can consider that little montage as testing the field notes as a sketchbook extensively. I actually recorded this video quite some time after my Tennessee trip, which was back in the very beginning of April. It's now June. Maybe procrastination should be my third personality trait. Here are little sketches from the trip. I've done a variety of sketches, some from people watching at the airport, some location sketches from a photo I took, some from the random food I ate. I think the highlight here was the moonshine taste testing. That was a really cool night. Some from downtown Nashville. We did visit some distilleries in the area, so of course there's some sketches from there, and yeah, pretty neat spot. It was raining very hard and we were actually here for an event, so we didn't really explore outdoors that much. It was still a very nice and low-key trip. The end results of a lot of my sketches is kind of like a photo where it helps me remember the moment and document my drawing skills at the time. I don't aim for perfectionism with these, and as you can see, I never use a ruler for any of the straight lines. I aim to use organic lines and create stress-free sketches. It's always good practice having a sketchbook on your person when you decide to take a stroll to the outside world. Not because there is some obligation that you have to force yourself to draw every time you go out, but if inspiration does strike, you're able to do a silly little doodle or two. And before I forget, the verdict of the field notebook as a sketchbook. The smaller size was something I had to get used to, but that's more of a me problem and less of the field notes itself. I was quite shaky with my earlier drawing, but I felt I got the hang of the smaller profile by the 5th drawing. But I did love that the smaller size allowed me to shove the sketchbook into my travel pack and it still fit the rest of my items with no problem. I was also very surprised with how much ink it could take. With all of the scribbling and how hard I pressed down on the pen, I didn't notice any kind of ink bleed or that much texture going through on the other side of the paper. Also in the areas where I did a full solid color, it handled it pretty well. Also, full disclosure, I do use whiteout when I make a lot of mistakes that I can't hide, but the notebook can even take whiteout quite well. So overall, 10 out of 10. If you want to sketch on the go, I actually recommend the Field Notes notebook, especially for how small and compact it is, and the culture of having such a wide variety of different covers. If you want to have a sketchbook collection, this is a great system to go with. I do have a couple more trips in the near future, and will definitely be bringing the Field Notes system with me next time, especially considering I have 19 sketchbooks to fill out. And to not become the hoarder I fear I will become, I must find a way to fill these out with even more sketches. I will definitely be vlogging future Field Notes adventures and uploading them on the channel as I go. And once I finish this high-tech pen, which I will be in the near future, it's almost empty, I will try out another pen to sample. I guess you can say I'm officially becoming a Field Nuts. After a couple of weeks frolicking outside, I'm ready to become a hermit once again. If you're interested in watching more about my silly art adventures, feel free to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. With that said, thank you so much for watching, hope to see you in the next one, and wishing you all an absolutely wonderful day. Bye!